I was able to twist my head just a little more to stare right into Javier's face, now tilted a few inches from mine, as he snarled in his native Spanish, "Orale!" At that very moment, the tequila and electricity stripped away the years of polish that had led to Javier's Princeton degree. Pushed to the edge by enough voltage to start a monster truck, the only thing that survived in Javier was instinct. In a nation that has survived colonialism, dictatorship, earthquakes, floods, instinct means endurance, no matter what. I felt a little urine trickle into my pants. I just couldn't do it anymore. I released the hands of the guys next to me, breaking the electric current, halting the ritual. The Mexicans howled in delight as I slumped my head onto the filthy table in front of us. When I could breathe again, I yanked out my wallet, snatched a wad of funny Monopoly-colored money, and paid the tab. 2 bottles of tequila that tasted like donkey piss, 8 warm beers, several cocktails with ingredients I couldn't pronounce, and a tip for the Aztecs dressed like a mariachi who we had just paid to shock us with a car battery. 170 Mexican pesos, 15 American dollars. Javi and I met on the young professional scene during those first fun years after college. He let me practice my Spanish with him, and we had fun trolling the bars to South Beach bars together. Despite years of rigid Americanization, no corporate job could ever match the salary that Javi's father was willing to pay him for taking over the family fabric plant in Mexico City. After 3 or 4 invitations, I gave in and decided to visit Javi in Mexico City. I figured that this local tour guide would take me to places not listed in Farmers. I told Javi as much. He and his young wife showed me swank restaurants, even escorted me to parties where I met the elite of Mexico City. The young men with slicked back longish hair and Ralph Lauren Oxford shirts who spent every day waiting for Dad to die. On our last night out, Javi picked me up without Rosa, and I smelled mischief in the air. After a few warm-up cocktails at a trendy eatery named Cielo, or Sky, Javi got down to business. "Do you know how I proposed to Rosa?" he told me in jalapeno-flavored English. You got her a ring and... No! In Mexico, a man must do more for his woman. He must serenade the woman to show his undying passion, the lifelong love that he will bring her. In his blue blazer, crisp Oxford shirt and khakis, Javier did not seem the Julio Iglesias type. But, as you have noticed, in Mexico, there is the right man to do everything. So we hire these men. The selection process is rigorous. Not just any mariachi will be capable of properly expressing the burning desire that a man has for his woman. So, there is a place where they all gather, all of the mariachi in El Distrito Federal, so that they may be chosen to serenade. Few Americans ever make it to this place. It is very Mexican. But I feel that you might be able to handle it. What do you think? The words, very Mexican, did tickle the trouble button in the back of my mind. But I felt myself hoisting my drink high into the air and saying, "Viva Mexico!" I knew we had arrived at our destination when I saw the first motley mariachi band working the street like a gang of whores. Soon they were everywhere. Little men in faded black outfits speckled with dull rhinestones, carrying all kinds of musical instruments like drunken warriors ready for battle. Javi drove slowly, if only to avoid running over a sloppy trumpet player. They wandered up to the car, slapping at the windows while shouting out their price. I was surprised that the smell of tequila didn't peel the paint off the Cadillac Escalade. You agree on the price, then you pick them up and you put them in the back of the car and you take them to the girl's house, Javi explained. Eventually, Javi found a place to park. We stumbled around a bit before Javi put his arm around me and pushed me toward Plaza Garibaldi, the epicenter of all mariachi activity on planet Earth. The architecture of the place was ancient, but fluorescent paint and flashing light bulbs were pasted onto cobblestones that the first Spanish missionaries could have put into place. Javi steered me towards a bar where his friends were waiting. We all sat down in a crescent-shaped booth surrounded by airbrushed paintings of damsels and Spanish knights. The bar was packed with a baffling jumble of rhinestone-covered men in white suits, black suits, small men with huge guitars, violins missing a string, everyone too drunk to care. Ballads of undying love, songs of amorous torment, ribald tales of midnight antics. The ear was tugged in a million different directions at once. A cacophony of guitar, harp, trumpet, and violin assaulted my defenseless ears. When I ordered tequila, I didn't realize they would bring me the whole bottle. And soon, Javi's proposition seemed like a damn smart idea. We would determine who would pay the tab by forming an electric circuit with our bodies. The nice old Aztec gentleman in the grubbiest mariachi outfit would hook us up to his car battery, and whatever weakling let go of the battery first would pay the bill. The old man's suit was stained and frayed, with only a few dull rhinestones hanging from the sleeves. The deep crags and crevices on his ancient face quivered as he cranked the dial from 1 to 5 to 10. After I lost the first round, I figured my problem came down to my chattering teeth. I must confess that as I pushed myself to my feet and yelled, "De nuevo!" again in Spanish, I wasn't sure how I was going to defend the American pride I felt swelling in my balls. I was fairly sure that George Washington had made most of it up as he went along, and so could I. Maybe that's why he had fake teeth. Dale, you don't have to, Javi started. I sucked down a shot of tequila while punching him in the arm and dragged us all into electrocution formation. Then I felt the current's soft tendrils creep up my arms, like a cactus being raked over me. One of Javi's Oxford-clad Mexican buddies smiled at me across the table and reminded me, "No te rajes, gringuito, tan great little gringo." "Suck it," I shot back. The pins and needles turned into a burning. The convulsions started. I thought about things that were American. Apple pie. The Price is Right. Charlton Heston. I thought of Dr. Barry I. Matza, whom my parents had paid a pile of cash to mold the very teeth that were now slamming themselves into the At the point of yielding yet again, I asked myself the one serious question that every American male surrounded in a hostile nation must ask himself. What would Chuck Norris do? With that, I buried my teeth into the soft flesh of Javi's shoulder. I thrashed my head like a frying hammerhead shark until suddenly the current died as Javi pulled himself away with a yelp. I shot up from my chair and grabbed the tequila, drinking right from the source to burn away the taste of blood. "You cheated!" Javi yelled as he nursed his lacerated shoulder. The Oxford shirt crew stared in stunned silence. I stumbled away from the group and said, "You broke?"